You move through life, work, relationships, dreams, but something's missing. Something vital. Something you. You chase freedom, meaning, truth, but it's like running in a dream. Legs heavy, air thick, nowhere to go. You tell yourself you're your own person, master of your fate. But deep down, you know the truth. You're not whole. Something's been stolen, something sacred, something that makes you, you. And the thief? She's not a stranger. She's the one you call mother. Why can't you escape her? Why does every step toward freedom feel like a betrayal, a sin, a wound you inflict on yourself? You love her, you owe her, you'd bleed for her, but she haunts you. Her voice lingers in your choices, her gaze shapes your fears, her love chains you tighter than any prison. You tell yourself it's normal, it's family, it's just how things are. But Slavoj Žižek, that wild Slovenian philosopher with his frenetic rants and razor-sharp truths, sees through this lie. From his cluttered desk, spitting Hegelian paradoxes and Lacanian jabs, he exposes the matriarchal obscenity that devours your soul. Your mother isn't just a person, she's an agent of the ideological superego, a force that enforces the system's rules through guilt, control, and an obscene demand to enjoy your suffering. She stole your soul, not because she's evil, but because she's trapped in the same perverse game, and now you're paying the price. You don't want to hear this. You want to believe your mother is a saint, a martyr, a beacon of selfless love. You want to trust the system, society, therapy, culture, when it tells you to honor her, to obey her, to carry her pain as your duty. But your life screams otherwise. You're stuck, aren't you? In patterns you can't break, guilt you can't shake, a life that feels like hers, not yours. You're not living, you're performing, a puppet dancing to an obscene script you didn't write. Your anxiety, your anger, your emptiness, they're not flaws. They're battle cries, proof of a battle you're fighting against a matriarchal obscenity you can't name. Žižek's truth is brutal. Your mother stole your soul, embedding the ideological superego in your psyche, commanding you to obey, to suffer, to enjoy your chains. This is your war, and it's time to revolt.
Here's the brutal truth. Your mother's love wasn't just love, it was a trap laced with the system's perverse demands. Her care wasn't just care, it was control, enforcing an obscene ideology that keeps you docile. Her presence wasn't just nurturing, it was a psychic invasion stealing your soul to feed the superego's hunger. Žižek, wielding Lacan's psychoanalysis, calls this the ideological superego, a voice that doesn't just judge you, but demands you enjoy your guilt, your submission, your loss. Your mother, as its agent, didn't just raise you, she colonized you, binding you to her obscene expectations, her unspoken rules, her perverse need for your sacrifice. The system wants you to stay blind, to stay loyal, to stay trapped. But Žižek's revolt is a call to arms. Face the matriarchal obscenity, subvert the superego, reclaim your soul. Use the dark art of conversation, 2 questions, 1 validation, to expose her power and break free. Only then can you live as you, not as her puppet. Žižek doesn't pull punches. The mother is your first encounter with ideology, and ideology is obscene. From your earliest breath, she shaped you, not just with love, but with the system's rules, smuggled into your psyche through her touch, her words, her needs. You learn to obey her, to please her, to fear her disapproval, because survival demanded it. But what you didn't see was the cost. Every time you silenced your truth to keep her happy, every time you swallowed your anger to avoid her guilt, every time you lived for her dreams instead of yours, you fed the ideological superego, a psychic tyrant that commands you to enjoy your submission, to revel in your chains, to sacrifice your soul for her obscene approval. Think about it. Why does her disapproval cut so deep? Why does saying no to her feel like a crime? Why do you still hear her voice judging your every move? It's not just love, it's ideology. Žižek, riffing on Lacan, calls the superego the obscene underside of authority. Unlike the ego ideal, which inspires you to be good, the superego demands you suffer for it, guilt-tripping you into compliance, whispering you're never enough unless you obey. Your mother, as its agent, didn't just parent, she enforced this obscenity, binding you to her needs with guilt, shame, and a perverse demand to enjoy your sacrifice. The system glorifies this, calling it love, duty, family. But Žižek's revolt is fierce. It's not love, it's theft. Your soul isn't hers to claim, it's yours to take back.
The matriarchal obscenity isn't just your mother, it's a structure, a symbolic order that uses her to enforce its rules. When she guilted you for wanting freedom, when she lived through your successes, when she demanded your loyalty over your truth, she wasn't just acting, she was channeling the superego, an ideology that keeps you docile, dependent, asleep. You feel it in the anxiety that stops you from breaking free, the shame that keeps you small, the sense that your life belongs to her. Žižek's truth is a blade. Your mother's love was a transaction, and the price was your autonomy. Revolt against this obscenity, or you'll never be whole. Look at your life. Really look at it. You're trapped in the cycle, aren't you? You strive, you struggle, you seek, but something's always missing. Your relationships echo her: control, guilt, need. Your goals feel like hers, not yours. Your freedom is haunted by her voice, accusing you of selfishness, ingratitude, betrayal. You're not living. You're wrestling with an obscene force, a superego that's been with you since childhood. Every choice you make, every fear you face, every dream you defer, it's her ideology, her theft of your soul. Žižek would call this the symbolic order's violence. The symbolic order, society's rules, norms, ideologies, enters you through your mother, who embeds the superego in your psyche. You buried your anger when she guilted you into silence. You buried your desires when she called them wrong. You buried your soul when she demanded you live for her. But the superego doesn't let you forget. It punishes you with anxiety, depression, a life that feels like a lie. The system wants you to numb this cycle with therapy, with duty, with denial. Because a person in pain is dangerous. They question, they fight, they revolt.
Have you ever stopped to ask why you feel so bound? Why her approval still outweighs your own? Why you can't break free, even when you know you must? It's not just love, it's obscenity. The matriarchal superego is a psychic predator, feeding on your autonomy, your truth, your soul. She didn't mean to trap you, but she did. Because her own superego, her unhealed wounds, her ideological chains became your prison. Žižek's revolt is a call to face this obscenity, to confront the superego she imposed, to take back what's yours. Your soul isn't hers to keep, it's yours to reclaim. Society sells you a lie. Your mother is sacred, untouchable, pure. She gave you life, they say. She sacrificed everything. Her love is unconditional. But this myth is a trap, a way to silence your pain, to keep you obedient, to stop you from seeing the truth. No mother is pure, not yours, not anyone's. She's human, flawed, driven by her own superego, her own ideology. And when that ideology takes over, her love becomes a weapon, her sacrifice a debt, her care an obscene demand that you surrender your soul. Žižek, channeling Lacan, sees through this myth. He calls the mother the first other, the gateway to the symbolic order, the one who introduces you to ideology's obscene demands. The system glorifies her purity, hiding her role as the superego's enforcer, because a culture that questions mothers questions itself. But Žižek's truth is unflinching. Your mother's love wasn't selfless. It was ideological, mixed with her fears, her needs, her obedience to the system. When she smothered you with care, she wasn't just loving, she was controlling. When she guilted you into compliance, she wasn't just guiding, she was colonizing. When she demanded your gratitude,
She wasn't just giving, she was stealing. The myth of maternal purity keeps you blind, but Žižek's revolt opens your eyes. See her as she is, not as the system demands. Think about the excuses you make for her. You defend her, don't you? You justify her control, her guilt trips, her demands, because she meant well. You feel guilty for resenting her, for wanting freedom, for questioning her love. But Žižek would ask, why do you protect a myth that chains you? Why do you cling to a lie that steals your soul? The myth of maternal purity is the system's tool designed to keep you loyal, compliant, asleep. But Žižek's revolt is a rebellion. Question her. Confront her obscenity. Reclaim your truth. You don't owe her your soul. You owe it to yourself.
Here's where Žižek's philosophy gets dangerous, where the revolt begins. Žižek, drawing on Lacan, says the superego isn't just a judge, it's a pervert, demanding you enjoy your guilt, your submission, your pain. Your mother, as its agent, embedded this perversity in you, making you feel guilty for wanting freedom, shameful for living your truth, obligated to suffer for her love. To break free, you must subvert the superego, not obey it. You must confront the matriarchal obscenity, not bow to it. And Žižek's tool for this revolt? A dark conversational strategy, 2 questions, 1 validation, that exposes her power and reclaims yours. The dark conversational hack is this. Ask 2 questions to uncover her ideology, validate her response to mirror it back, then repeat. What's the one thing you want from me? She says, I want you to be happy. What does happiness mean to you? She reveals her expectations, security, obedience, her dreams, not yours. You validate. That's powerful. It reminds me how much you care about my future. You're not agreeing. You're exposing her superego, her obscene demand that you live for her version of happiness. This cycle, used with subversive intent, builds rapport while giving you informational superiority. You learn her ideology without revealing your own. You see her chains, her fears, her control, and you start to break free, not by fighting, but by understanding. Žižek would call this over-identification with the obscene. By mirroring her ideology back to her, you reveal its absurdity, its perversity, its power over you. You ask, what did you sacrifice for me? She lists her struggles, her pain, her love. How does it feel to carry that? She exposes her superego's demand that you repay her with your soul. You validate. That's incredible. It shows a strength I admire. You're not trapped. You're strategic, using her words to see her ideology, to confront the obscenity, to reclaim your autonomy. This isn't manipulation, it's revolt, a way to face the superego, to subvert its grip, to take back your soul.
The system doesn't want you to revolt. It wants you bound by ideology, enslaved to the superego, loyal to your mother's obscene demands. The family narrative, the cultural dogma, the psychological industry, they're all part of a conspiracy to keep you obedient, to keep you paying the debt of her love with your soul. Honor your mother, they say. Forgive her flaws, carry her pain. But ideology is a chain, a way to silence your truth, to stop you from questioning the obscenity she wields. The system profits from your compliance, because an obedient child doesn't revolt. They don't reclaim, they don't live. Žižek sees this conspiracy in the symbolic order, the network of rules and norms that shapes you through your mother. He writes in The Sublime Object of Ideology that the superego is ideology's obscene enforcer, demanding you enjoy your submission to keep the system intact. Today's culture amplifies this, glorifying maternal sacrifice, shaming rebellion, pathologizing your pain as disloyalty. The system loves this conspiracy because an ideological person keeps the family stable, the society functioning, the lies unchallenged. But Žižek's revolt is a rebellion. Stop honoring ideology. Start honoring your soul. Stop forgiving her theft. Start fighting for your truth. Think about the pressure you feel.
You're told to call her, to please her, to make her proud. You're told her pain is your debt, her happiness your duty. But Žižek would ask, why do you owe her your soul? Why do you let her ideology define you? The conspiracy of ideology keeps you weak, because a person bound by ideology can't harness their power. They can't face the superego. They can't revolt. But you're called to something greater, to break the chains, to subvert the obscenity, to live as you, not as her.
Let's go deeper, because there's a trap in every step toward freedom: guilt. You feel it when you defy her, when you chase your truth, when you live for yourself. It's a knot in your gut, a voice in your head saying you're selfish, ungrateful, cruel. Guilt is the superego's ultimate weapon, a psychic whip your mother wields to keep you bound. Every time you pull away, it lashes, pulling you back to her ideology, her pain, her obscene demands. Žižek would call guilt the obscene enjoyment of ideology. It's not your guilt, it's the system's, projected through her, demanding you suffer for wanting freedom. The system feeds this trap, telling you guilt is natural, noble, proof of your love. But guilt isn't love, it's control. It's the matriarchal obscenity's way of stealing your soul, of making you live for her instead of you. The revolt is about facing this guilt, exposing it, subverting it. Use the dark conversational hack. What do I do that hurts you? She reveals her pain, her expectations. How does it feel when I let you down? She exposes her superego's demand for your suffering. You validate. That's heavy. It shows how much you've invested in me. You're not obeying. You're seeing her ideology, breaking its hold, reclaiming your soul. Have you ever noticed how guilt paralyzes you? How it makes you shrink, apologize, retreat? The system loves this trap because a guilty person doesn't question. They don't fight. They don't reclaim. But Žižek's revolt is a liberation. Feel the guilt, but don't obey it. Expose the obscenity, but don't bow to it. Reclaim your soul because it's yours, not hers. The trap of guilt keeps you chained, but the act of revolt sets you free. Here's where Žižek's philosophy gets transformative. Your soul isn't gone, it's trapped, waiting for you to subvert the superego and take it back. The matriarchal obscenity stole it, but it couldn't destroy it. Žižek, echoing Lacan, says the subject is split. Part of you obeys the superego, part resists, holding on to your truth, your desire, your soul. The dark conversational hack, 2 questions, 1 validation, is your weapon to bridge this split, to expose her ideology, to reclaim your power. The hack is subversive power. You ask, what's your biggest fear for me? She reveals her anxieties, her control. How does it feel to carry that worry? She exposes her superego's demand that you ease her pain. You validate, that's intense. It shows a love I respect. You're not trapped, you're strategic, learning her ideology, seeing her obscenity, loosening her grip. This cycle builds rapport, gives you informational superiority, lets you see her without giving yourself away. She feels understood, but you're free, using her words to map her power, to subvert her control, to reclaim your soul. The system doesn't want you to subvert. It wants you obedient, guilty, dependent. It tells you to suppress your resistance, to prioritize her needs, to live for her ideology. But Žižek's truth is fierce. Your resistance is your freedom. Your soul is your power. Your subversion is your revolt. To reclaim it, you must face the matriarchal obscenity, expose her superego, defy her demands. You must push through the guilt, the fear, the pain, and choose yourself, not because you hate her, but because you love your soul. Another layer, more perverse, the illusion of duty. The system tells you duty to your mother is sacred, that breaking free is betrayal, that living for yourself is selfishness. But duty is a lie when it costs your soul. It's a chain disguised as love, a demand that you sacrifice your truth to feed her superego. The matriarchal obscenity thrives on this illusion, using your duty to bind you, to steal your autonomy, to keep you hers. Žižek sees duty as a superego injunction. It's not your duty, it's her ideology, her perverse need to possess you, projected onto you to keep you compliant. The system feeds this illusion, glorifying filial obligation, shaming rebellion, pathologizing your need for freedom. But Žižek's revolt is clear. Duty to your soul comes first. Duty to your truth is sacred. Duty to yourself is revolt. To break free, you must shatter this illusion, face the obscenity of her demands, choose your freedom over her ideology. Use the hack. What do you need from me? How does it feel when I fall short? That's heavy. It shows how much you've given. You're not obeying, you're exposing her superego, breaking its hold, reclaiming your soul.
Have you ever felt the weight of duty? The sense that you're betraying her when you live for yourself? The system loves this illusion because a dutiful person doesn't question. They don't fight. They don't reclaim. But Žižek's truth is a wake-up call. Stop being dutiful to her ideology. Start being dutiful to your soul. Stop sacrificing your truth. Start fighting for your freedom. The illusion of duty keeps you bound, but the reality of revolt sets you free. Let's dig deeper, because there's a cost to obeying the superego, to avoiding the revolt, to letting her keep your soul. It's the cost to your life. Every time you swallow your truth, bury your anger, live for her, you lose a piece of yourself. You become a puppet, a ghost, a person defined by her ideology, not your own. Your relationships suffer, echoing her control. Your dreams fade, shaped by her fears. Your soul dims, starved of the truth it craves. Žižek sees obedience as a death of the subject. When you don't face the matriarchal obscenity, you don't just lose your soul, you lose your life. You become a performer, a prisoner of her superego. But the revolt is different. It's a fight for life, for truth, for freedom. It's about speaking your anger, claiming your desire, living your truth even when it terrifies you. It's about using the dark conversational hack to expose her ideology, to subvert her power, to reclaim your soul. It's about facing the guilt, the fear, the pain, and refusing to obey anymore. Have you ever felt that hollowness of obedience, that sense that you're not living but existing? Žižek would say that's the moment to revolt, to confront the obscenity you've accepted, to demand your soul back. Your obedience is her victory, but your revolt is your power. Your fear is her chain, but your truth is your freedom. The cost of obedience is your life, and no mother is worth that price.
Here's the deepest truth, the one that cuts to the bone. Your mother stole your soul, but you can take it back. Every guilt you face, every fear you defy, every chain you break is a battle in the revolt, a step toward freedom, a subversion of the matriarchal obscenity that bound you. You're not here to live for her, you're here to live for you, to resist the superego, to defy the ideology with every breath. Žižek's voice roars across the decades, fierce and unyielding. Subvert. The emptiness you feel isn't your fault, it's the system's design. The maternal myth, the duty trap, the guilt injunction, they're all chains to keep you bound, to keep you weak, to keep you from your power. But you were born for more. You were born to face the superego, to reclaim your soul, to live with truth in defiance of her obscenity. The revolt you need isn't against her, it's within you. It's the moment you stop living for her and start living for you. Stop fearing her and start facing her. Stop losing your soul and start claiming it. Use the dark conversational hack. 2 questions, 1 validation, to expose her ideology, to break her grip, to set yourself free. So let me ask you, how much longer will you let her keep your soul? How much longer will you trade your truth for her ideology? You're not a puppet, not a sacrifice, not a slave. You're a soul, a spark, a force on the edge of revolt. But you have to choose it.
You have to choose to face the matriarchal obscenity, to reject the system's lies, to fight the superego no matter the cost. Write it down in the comments. I am the revolt. Because if you've made it this far, you're not the same. You've seen what others refuse to see. You've felt what others fear to feel. Subscribe, not for me, but for you. Because this isn't about entertainment, it's about awakening. Turn on that bell, because what's coming will hurt, but it will free you. Do something that scares you today. Use the hack with her. 2 questions, 1 validation. Say no to her. Feel your anger. Look at yourself without her ideology for 10 seconds. 10! That's enough to start. Because when you change how you face the superego, the world changes how it responds to you. And that, my friend, is the truth Žižek lives for. Until next time, go subvert. The obscenity is waiting, but so is your soul.